welcome back. My name is Sharrah, and today we are continuing Christmas. We have kicked off Christmas 2021, and it is a lot different than it was last year. It was just a completely different house. This house was dark. There were no can lights. There was a lot of dark wood. It was beautiful, but it was a completely different vibe than it is this year. It just feels cozy. It feels warm and comforting. It also feels very family friendly, which was a huge goal of mine this year. And it just feels very organic and natural, and that was the vibe I was going for. I want to say a quick thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I have an adorable DIY that I put under the tree this year, so stay tuned for that. So today we're going to talk about Christmas trees specifically. Not only do I have a tree here, but I have a tree over there. You guys remember we did that last year, so we have two identical trees in front of the windows. The other element that we added to this year's theme was nativity. So you'll see on our tree we have a couple fun ornaments. Speaking of fun ornaments, question of the video, I would love to know what your favorite ornament is as a family. I have a few new favorites this year and I'll show you, but I also am curious, who out there puts like donuts on their tree and like Cheetos or like a burrito or a taco? Do you put those on your tree? I'm always curious who buys those. I've never done a tree that way, but I feel like that's kind of a thing you do when your kids are like 5. So maybe one day we'll do that. But anyway, leave me your favorite ornament below. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, you know what to do. Join the fam here on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs up. And let's get started. All right, first things first, when it comes to setting up your Christmas tree is to choose where you think it will go. This sounds like a very obvious first place to start, but I will tell you, sometimes that can be a little more complicated. I encourage you guys to look at your spaces and just think of a really cool spot to put the tree, and it may or may not cause you to have to move some furniture. Is it heavy? Way to go. Don't go knocking into my molding. Oh my gosh, making me nervous. We had to move quite a bit of furniture. Upstairs, downstairs, to the other side of the house. So Pete, this one's gonna go in the bedroom where that dark one just was. Well, look at that. Don't touch my molding. A little to the left, little to the right. Move it that way more, towards the wall. Sorry, a little that way. Luckily my in-laws were here, thank you Pete. And yes, the dining room was moved several times. So we definitely did that first, made sure we liked where it was. And then we move on to step number 2, which is assemble and fluff your tree. So if you guys have real trees, I'm jealous. One year I am gonna get a real tree. You know, I've never had a real tree. Honestly, I don't even think my mom ever had a real tree when I was growing up. I think we always had artificial trees. I'm hula hooping the tree, Scout.
Yeah, I got a bit.
I know that they're probably more of a pain once they're in your house because they drop needles and you have to water them. And I mean, I really don't know, I've never done it, but I've heard. However, when you have an artificial tree, obviously you can put it up early because it's not alive, but also there's a ton of pluses, like they come pre-lit. These trees over here in both of the bay windows are new trees. I just got them this year. Oh my goodness. I will link below where I found them in the name, but they're probably some of my favorite trees that I've ever had. Oh! Tyler, come look at how pretty it is. Isn't that beautiful?
Looks like our trees in the front.
We didn't know it until after we bought the house, but there are 3 real Christmas trees, blue spruces, in our front yard. Of all houses we could have bought, we bought the one that had Christmas trees in the front. Isn't that amazing? So usually trees come in 3 layers. You put the first layer down. All right, so this is section 1. Fan out the rear branches to unhide the trunk. Then spread the branches to fill the gaps. You fluff the branches. That means you take a branch and you pull each of the branches out and then also up. So they come in really squished and you need to separate them. Now when you buy your trees from the place I bought mine, they come with gloves, which are really great. You can also just buy gloves on Amazon. Gotta put our gloves on, Pete. Kinda wish they went all the way up though, so you don't scratch up your arms. But that helps protect your hands in case the needles are sharp. But opening up your tree is just gonna make it look better and make it look like it didn't just come out of the box, which is what you want. You want it to look nice and fluffed. Look at this cute little thing. I think the boys just like to wear the gloves. They just go like this. Meanwhile, we're like bleeding. Before you put too many things on top, once you put that first layer down, I recommend doing either your tree skirt, or for us this year we did something called a tree collar. I'm so excited about my new tree skirts. It's a tree collar, actually. That's what the kids are calling it. And I actually really love them. This kind of looks like a basket vibe, but you want to put that on before the whole tree is built, because it kind of, you might need to like lift it and finagle it a little bit to get the tree thing on the skirt or the collar. And then you put the second layer in, and once the little thing goes into the little thing, the lights turn on and it immediately kind of syncs. Look at how smart this is, and it just lights.
Very cool. My favorite. This is my favorite tree we've ever had. I'm very happy.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, it is.
Let's try this again.
Ta-da! Pete, I noticed you're standing back there. Some moral support. Once it's all fluffed and it's ready to go, then you get into the next step, which every year I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I need to do that. And then I do it. And after I do it, I'm like, I'm so glad I did that. So don't skip this step, okay? Are you ready? This is the most important part of your tree, and that is add fairy lights to your tree. Just trust me, it's worth it. Now I'm going to try to link the ones that I have. We got them at Shinoda last year, and it's one long, it's like, gosh, I don't even know how many feet. It's probably 20 feet of stringed lights. Maybe it's 15. You have different options too. You can have it do a slow fade. You can have it be a steady on position. You can have it like strobing if you want. And it brings that light into the center of your tree and kind of gives it this dimension and this fairy magical Christmas experience. I did 2 of those long strands on each of mine, but it's just worth it. So don't skip that step. Now this is a pro tip coming to you from Sharrah Stevens. When it comes time to take those fairy lights off and to store them, here's what you do. You get a box that's about this wide by about that tall, and that's like this thick, okay? And you cut a hole in the box. You make sure it's all closed up except for one little hole. That's where you put the plug inside the hole. And then you wrap the lights around this giant box, and then you tape the end. And that's how you store them. If you try to wrap them up like an extension cord or anything like that, it will get so tangled and you will never be able to use them again. So you want to make sure that you store them really, really well, because they can become like a rat's nest. Also, when you do start to light your tree, I recommend starting from the bottom and working your way all the way up. And when you get to the top, try to leave yourself a lot of extra light, because when you create your topper, which is the next step, you want to make sure you can light it up and add the lights there. Then we move on to step number 4, which is the tree topper. Usually I do some sort of like grand thing with picks. Guys, this year I didn't really use picks. Actually, I did use one beaded pick. Tyler thinks it looks like chicken feet. Rude.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
I really wanted to go for kind of a less is more sparse look, so I didn't do a ton of picks. So for my tree topper, because our theme is nativity, I wanted to find a nativity star. I was walking the aisles of Hobby Lobby, and there I found this giant gold, kind of heavy star, and I was like, that is perfect, except it's way too big and way too heavy, so let's not do it. So we didn't buy it. We went home. We couldn't figure anything else to get. So then I sent Tyler back, and he picked them up for me, which he's a great husband. He went to Hobby Lobby like 12 times in the course of one day. Yeah, very nativity-like. He Jimmy rigged it on the back, got a big stick to put down the back of it and got it up on the tree for me. I wrapped it with my lights and I think they turned out really well. It grounds the tree. It did not end up being too big because I stuffed the bottom part of it into the tree, so it kind of stabilized it. And I think it just gives a really great finished look to the top of your tree. And yes, you start with your tree topper and then you kind of go down from there. Sometimes it's the last thing that you think about, so when you're shopping for your decor and kind of planning out what you want for your tree, try to find and figure out and order what that tree topper is going to be. That way you can kind of set the tone for your space, for your tree, and kind of move on down as you start to decorate. Tyler calls these chicken feet. These are not chicken feet. These are very cute beaded picks, okay? Okay, number 5, this is the time when you would add any of your picks and or garlands into your tree and or ribbons. This year I did not do any ribbon, I know, shocker. And I also didn't do many picks except for my chicken feet. It just kind of gave some pop of color if I didn't want to fill it with too many ornaments. And also just gave it that woodsy texture with a little bit of shine with these little beads in between. And then I also added a bead garland. So I have 3 different styles of bead garland in this tree this year. One is like big chunky wool balls mixed with smaller wood beads. The other one is a bunch of small wood beads. And then the other one is white and tan wood beads kind of going all the way through. If you are gonna add some picks and your ribbons, that's something that you would do at this stage to kind of set the tone, especially with ribbon, kind of the flow of where you're gonna go before you put any ornaments on, before you do anything else. You wanna get those bows and your ribbon in place. And again, if you guys wanna use stuff like that, we do have a ton of videos on YouTube about all different kinds of styles. And then we also have the design sessions. If you guys are a design session member, we did a huge series on Christmas a few years back, and there's a ton of really great in-depth videos all about how to make your trees amazing. The other pro tip to Christmas decorating is getting yourself some extremely ugly shoes that are extremely comfortable. My podiatrist told me to get these. You guys, they are life-changing. This is what you need to decorate your Christmas tree in and really do anything. I'm gonna link them in the description box below. Anyway, now let's resume back to our Christmas decorating. So after you've added kind of your beaded garland, you've added some ribbon, maybe some picks, then your tree is finally ready for the glorious step of adding ornaments, or as my mom likes to call them, balls. So now we're gonna go to the Christmas shed. Follow me. Here we go. Now when it comes to adding your ornaments, you want to follow the 60-30-10 rule. So 60% of your ornaments are going to be kind of in that base color. 30% are going to be your secondary color, and then 10% are kind of like an accent color. That's how you keep it from not being too crazy and wild. Ooh, I almost just crushed my mom's balls. Sorry, Mom. So for me, I added in kind of the base balls first, and I picked these beaded green balls that I actually had from last year. Beaded can kind of be a little bit more fancy, but I loved adding that to this very organic and simple tree and giving it a little bit of flair, but it's very like understated. Then I added in kind of a more warm champagne caramely colored ball, a couple different sizes of that ball. One was a little shinier, one was a little bit more matte. And you want to put those ornaments or those balls in really deep into the tree first and kind of fill in some of the see-through holes that you might find, and then work your way out. Also keeping the larger balls on the bottom half of the tree and the smaller balls on the top half of the tree will help create balance for you. Another really big goal for me when it came to my ornaments this year was I wanted baby-friendly ornaments. That was one of the big reasons we didn't do a flocked tree this year, because those trees are beautiful, but they shed everywhere. But with the ornaments too, I knew that he'd be up on the tree pulling stuff, whatever. So I really did mostly, like 95% of the ornaments are non-breakable. There's a couple glass ornaments that I kept on the top half of the tree, or I put them really far into the center of the tree on the bottom that he can't get to. But for the most part, they're non-breakable plastic, or they're felt, or straw, or wood, or paper. I also did paper. I don't know, it just feels really casual and family and cozy, and that's what I wanted. And this is also the time that you can add in some of the specialty ornaments and things that kind of matter to you, kind of put them in sporadically. If you're Tyler and you love the dolphins, you can put them on the back of the tree. Excuse me, sir. Oh good, you're putting the dolphins one on the back of the tree. That's a great spot for it, honey. I have some really fun little animal guys that are felt that have these cute little jackets on that I think are really, really cute. And then I also have these great nativity. Now these are breakable, but they're a little sturdier than like a glass ornament. They lean into the nativity scene. So this is like the nativity star. This is Mary. And then wanna know my favorite ornament ever? This is Sawyer's foot from last year. Look, he was 3 weeks old. I love this ornament. This is like such a special ornament. I hope it never breaks. Hopefully we've got more little feet on here as the years go on. I added things like signage like these. Wherever you have a big space that you kind of want to just plop something larger in, it can kind of just sit on the branches. I also had like a big nativity scene that I put on one of the trees. But this is kind of the step where it's like invite the family, everyone put an ornament on, make it fun, and then if you have to, you can zhuzh it up a little later, but at least you get that fun experience all together. And tip number 7, the last and final thing, I wrap my presents to put under the tree. Now Santa hasn't come yet, so we only have a few, but you wanna pick some wrapping paper that goes with your theme or goes with your color palette that you've selected. I just use like basic like construction paper, brown paper, and white paper, and then I dazzled it up with some adorable ribbon and adorable custom-made tags, you guys. I cannot wait to show you how easy it was to make these. I mean, look at this. I made this, and I think it made this package look so cute. I used the Cricut Maker 3 to make these tags. It was beyond easy. I didn't know if it was gonna be challenging or if it was gonna be, you know, meticulous or tedious. It was so fun to make them. You literally put paper in and you let it do its thing and it like looks so professional. It's amazing. So the Cricut Maker 3 is a die cut machine if you guys are unfamiliar with it. The CNC machine, that's what makes cabinets. It's kind of like that. It's like an automatic cut machine, but in a normal capacity, small, easy to manage machine that can literally cut over 300 different materials. The Maker 3 can. It can cut paper, it can cut cardstock, it can cut fabric, it can cut wood, it can engrave stuff, it can emboss stuff. For me, so you guys know Sawyer's birthday is coming up and I am so excited and bursting with ideas of how to make his birthday party just extra custom and extra cute. I feel like this machine is gonna be something I use for years and years to come. If you have a Cricut, I wanna know what you use for yours, because I know when I posted about this on Instagram, a lot of you guys wrote me and you were like, I love my Cricut, it's so great. But I wanna know what you use it for, because I feel like there's endless possibilities, and so it's always good to share. I love how easy the process was. It was not intimidating at all. You can create the designs on your computer, or you can even do it on your phone. You send it to the machine, it literally cuts or prints or draws. Let's say you want like calligraphy, you put a pen in there and it'll write. You guys, I am like blown away, it's so cool. If you're following on Instagram, then you know my nephews and niece, they're coming to visit. And this is not Christmas time, we're a couple months away from Christmas, but they're coming to visit, and because they're not coming to Oklahoma for Christmas this year, we're gonna celebrate Christmas right before Halloween with the whole family. So we have Christmas gifts for the kids. Okay, this is a paper letter that I had cut out for each of the boys' Christmas presents. Of course, the girl gets the big, beautiful gift. But look, I made this bow. It's made out of like a metallic paper, and then I have her M. This is for my sister-in-law, and then this one's for my brother. Oh! He gets a green car with a Christmas tree, and it actually is a card, so I'm gonna write his name in there. And I just think it made my packages look extra cute. So when you're done decorating your Christmas tree, get some wrapping paper that matches the tree and custom create some really sweet personalized gift tags or something to make your packages kind of pop and look really fun. If you guys are interested in checking out the Maker 3 or any of the Cricut products, I'm gonna link it in the description below, and you guys can go to their website and see which machine would be good for your needs and your family. Okay, I have one last tidbit to share with you, but it's on the other tree, so let's go over there. Bonus tip. When you have an open space, see this? There's this giant space here. Now, if I want to fill that space, there's no branch. Really, I'd want a ball to be like right here. Well, if I put something that was lightweight right here, it would hang right here, which competes with this little house guy that I got going on. By using a heavier ornament, I know that when I hang something here, it's gonna pull the branch down and hang it right in the spot that I would like it to hang in. So if you have an open space in your tree and you want to fill it, but there's no branches around to like come to the rescue. Go up to the nearest branch, find a heavier ornament, and it'll probably sag it a little bit and kind of hang it right in the correct spot. If you have a fake tree, an artificial tree, you can also bend the branches. If you're using a real tree, I think you can just snip branches out. I've never done that, but I've heard that that's kind of the option because sometimes you obviously can't control where a branch goes because it's real. If you cut some of those branches out, create some little holes in different places, that'll give you some space to add some fun ornaments. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you learned a little bit about how to make your tree extra beautiful this season. Coming up next is actually going to be the entryway where you're standing right now. And I'm gonna show you the staircase, how we updated the bears, and some of the things that we did to make the entry of our home really festive and really beautiful for Christmas. Enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment below. I love reading your comments. I love to know about all the fun ornaments you like to use. Maybe tell me what your tree theme is going to be this year too. Come here, everybody wants to see you. Scout, tell them about what's on Instagram. If you go on Instagram, you guys can follow along. We're posting kind of like live updates about what we're doing in the house. Always a good time to go and follow on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you guys in a couple of days when we upload the next video. Bye-bye.